How you doing, everybody? I know it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. Where have I been? As you see, we have a new name for the channel, TOPK, Top K, and it stands for Testimony of Pastor King. Testimony of Pastor King. So what we do here, we do the same thing. We review stuff, mostly cars, and I am a pastor. I am a pastor, and I do enjoy what we would call the biblical term, chariots. Just because I'm a pastor doesn't mean that the different things that I like changes in that sense. Now, certain things they do change, but we're not going to get into all that. But I'm not going to sit here and deny the God that I serve, the Lord and Savior that I serve and I represent. If you're not into all that, then hey, it is what it is. But we don't have the Mercedes-Benz S430 anymore. We have a brand new fleet. We got an old school, and I guess you consider this an old school, but more of a new school. We are in our 2002 Chevy Suburban with the third row. We're going to be doing some things on this as time progresses. But where have I been? Where have I been? Family, business. I changed businesses. For those who don't know, I used to have a cleaning service. I don't have that anymore. I've gone full-time with my online business, and we're also doing real estate investing. I'll talk about that in another video. We moved, dang mosquito. I moved my family from Georgia. We were staying in Georgia, and we moved to Hot Springs, Arkansas. My mother-in-law stays here. Recently, my wife's dad, he passed away. What else? I've had another child, so I got two boys. My oldest is now 4 years old, and my youngest is a year and a half. Wow, so much has been going on. So what happened was, I always wanted a piece of land and, put something on there for my family. And we moved from where we were at. We stayed in the country, and we sold everything. We sold everything. And we stayed a year in my mother's backyard, living in our RV. At the time, we had an RV. We kind of like still do have that same RV, but it's not really ours because we end up selling it to a family member, and that family member is still making payments. So technically, it's still ours. So we were living in the RV. I renovated the RV, made the RV real nice. In my mother's backyard, I was paying her XYZ every month to pretty much rent her backyard, hook up electricity and stuff like that. We stayed there for about a year. And the reason that we did that was because we wanted to make the sacrifices that needed to be made so that I could be in the position that I wanted to be in now. And it required some sacrifices. I wasn't with the whole, bills thing. And we all got to pay bills, but you know how it goes. When you get behind on bills, when money is good, money is good. But when you start to get behind on bills, you got to decide what's important. And for me, holding on to those things, that wasn't what was important to me. It was letting go of those things. And, I had my wife a new vehicle, brand new vehicle and everything. She wasn't really working at the time. She was working before, but she ended up getting pregnant with our first son. Then she ended up getting pregnant again. Both of my children were born at home, so that's something that I always wanted to experience, that I was blessed to be able to experience. So we got a whole family of 4, granted, very small baby, living out of an RV, and it wasn't as bad as my wife thought it was going to be. Like I said, I made the RV very, very homey. I renovated pretty much the complete RV. So I'm saving up money. And at the time, I'm getting tired of what I was doing at the time, which was cleaning. Like I said, I had a cleaning service for 12 plus years. And God was guiding me somewhere else. I'm not going to sit here and deny God. That's what the name of the channel is. Testimony of Pastor King, Top K. So God was guiding me in other things, and He knew that I was tired of what I was doing. I wanted something different. So I knew my time was short with the place I was cleaning up. And at the time, I was supposed to submit my bid because my contract was coming up to be renewed or not. And it got to the point, and this is around the time where the sea, you know what I'm talking about, everything that's been going on with the economy. This is around the time when they were talking crazy, talking about shutting borders down and all this other stuff. And I was like, look, we got to go and get out of here before we get trapped. Because I didn't want to get stuck in Georgia in the process of us trying to move and everything. So I made the decision, like, look, we're not renewing it. I'm done. I went ahead and let them know. And they were like, what? You're not going to renew it? You're not even going to submit a bid? Like, no, I'm moving my family to Arkansas. And this is where we're at now. We're in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Now, mind you, before we even moved, I had already purchased a piece of land, a small piece, 0.11 of an acre. I had already purchased a piece of land before we even moved here. My wife came down, she checked out a few pieces of land, and this is the one that we decided on. And not only was I getting this land for my family, but there were some other things that I was seeing where there were some opportunities here for a person like myself. Now, like I said, end up not renewing the contract and stuff like that. And so after that, they were really talking about shutting down the borders and, you know, all these different things. So, man, we got out of there. We got out of there, and we moved as fast as we could, so we wouldn't, you know, get trapped in the middle of a state. You know, you're trying to get over to one state and they wouldn't let you come through or whatever. And it was a crazy situation because during that time period, the RV had broke down. We had to put the RV in the shop. We was in a hotel for a few days. I had my I guess you say my niece, but my niece on my wife's side with us because we were bringing her to her dad and everything. So we ended up leaving the RV where we was at. And then it broke down. When it broke down, it was something like out of a scary movie, like As God Is My Witness. It was something like out of a scary movie because it broke down in the middle of nowhere on the hill. It was just a terrible situation. But it wasn't terrible in that sense, but if you just look at it as a terrible situation, it was a terrible situation for most people. I ended up ministering to a lady. The very lady that helped me, she ended up helping me. I ended up helping her. We ended up helping each other. Because, you know, she started telling me her whole life story and stuff like that. And we ended up, it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And RV had broke down. It'd be like 11 to 12. So I had to go take them somewhere safe. We were trailing vehicles. I had to drop the vehicles, leave the vehicle with the trailer in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I'm at. Go find somewhere safe for them. Go back, hook it up. Oh my God. And then get the vehicles to a safe location because I didn't want to leave the U-Haul trailers there. We had 2 U-Haul trailers. We had one that was towing my vehicle, and then we had one that was towing her vehicle on the back of the RV. So crazy situation, crazy because we couldn't leave the vehicle hooked up to the RV because the RV was acting crazy. And what ended up being wrong with the RV was the fuel pump was going out. Now I had checked all this stuff. The RV rolled fine. We made it probably, I'm gonna say halfway through the trip, and no problems. We stopped and got gas, and I always checked it when we stopped and got gas. Stopped and got gas, and we got the rolling, and it started doing the herky jerky and stuff like that. So it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So we were thinking, like, if we can go to the back roads, then we can coast, and we can, you know what I'm saying, coast through the night and get as close as we can as possible. It didn't work out that way. So like I said, I represent God. I represent the Lord Jesus Christ. That's me. If you're not with that, then hey, that's cool. Like I said, the very lady that ended up helping me is the very lady I end up ministering to. Now I'm in the middle of primarily a white town, and I break down in the middle of the literal night where it's so dark, like you can't even see the trees in front of you. This lady ended up stopping to help me. And I told her I was a pastor, told her my story because I wanted her to feel comfortable. I didn't, she didn't have to stop and help me or whatever. And like I said, she started telling me her whole life story. She's like, yeah, I need to get back with God and all these different things. And I realized that it was what we would call divine intervention. All that happened so I could run into that lady so we could have that divine intervention. Like I said, she just started telling me her whole life story and stuff like that. And then I realized, like, wow, it almost brought me to tears because I realized that I was there to give that lady words of encouragement with what she was going through in her life. Now, like I said, you may not believe in God, you may not believe in all that stuff, but I'm just telling you my testimony in regards to what happened. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But obviously this is the testimony of Pastor King. I'm not going to apologize for that. So we end up praying in the middle of the street with the sun coming up, hugging each other and stuff like that. And it's an experience I will never forget. Never forget that. And some other things or whatever. But it was a very, very interesting situation. So RV was in the shop. They were talking about shutting the borders down. Like they were really, really talking about it. So we took the van and we took the U-Haul and the trailer with my vehicle hooked up to it, and we kept on going. We eventually made it. They called us and told us the vehicle was ready, so then we drove back to go pick up the RV, and then we drove the RV and the van here to Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is where we stay at now. Now, I know some of you car content. What happened to the Mercedes-Benz was in the process of me renting my mother's backyard. I was fixing it up, as you see from the videos, and not go watch those old videos. And a guy was working on my car because I was going to take the car with me. And I ran into a guy I went to school with. I'm like, oh man, what's up, man? He worked on vehicles. I didn't even know that I knew him. What happened was he did some work on my mother's car. I said, hey, I need a mechanic like ASAP because we're getting ready to go. And I want to get this fixed before I move because I don't know anything about this town like that. I don't know what they're going to charge me, all these different things, whatever. So I meet the guy. I'm like, oh, I know him. So we're talking, chopping. They're like, man, what you been up to? Blase. He told me he can fix my vehicle. I needed a shock and I needed a control arm. And it should have been an in and out job. But on the Benzes, they have a screw that goes into the shock, but it's not very long. It's not very long. And what happened was, it's not a regular screw. It's like a Torx bit. So it got stripped. He couldn't get the shock out. But he didn't tell me all this until later. To make a long story short, he ended up messing up my car. And messing up my car. And instead of just being honest with me, knowing that he knows me, he pretty much avoided me or whatever. And then, I had the rims and stuff on there, and then when he was putting the rims and everything on, I was watching them, and I'm like, So I'm driving off, I'm like, man, this ain't riding right. So I get out, and I go check my lugs, and my lugs aren't even tight. So if I would have rolled, yeah, it could have been even worse. So I was extremely upset because I'm like, what if I would have sent my mom to pick the car up, or what if I would have sent my wife? They wouldn't have thought to check that. So it was disrespectful. You messed my car up, okay, cool, but now you don't care anything about my life or my family's life. I just found that very, very disrespectful. So I was so upset. I'm like, you know what? I'm finna sell it. Y'all know how I go. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace. Have my price a little bit higher than what I actually wanted. And how people, they laugh and stuff. You're gonna get that. But I already know who I was marketing the vehicle toward. So I put the vehicle up there on like I said, the internet and everything, and the vehicle sold like maybe a week week and a half, if that, maybe 2 weeks at the most. But the vehicle sold pretty fast because the guy was telling me, yeah, I'm interested in it. I'm going to check it out. Then he didn't come. Then we was back and forth in contact. Then he eventually came, and he bought it on the spot. He knew he was coming to get it. I told him everything was wrong with it, everything it needed. I had the part. I had the part needed to get fit. I had the brand new air shock. I had all that stuff for it. And so then I took that money and I bought my other vehicle, my old school. I'm going to show y'all in another video, but I'll let you know it's a 96 Jaguar XJ6, all clean. Needs a little work, but it's clean. I took the money that I got from selling the Benz and I bought the Jag, and then I used the rest of the money to invest in my other business that I was currently doing. So the business I was currently doing at the time was an online business, but I was more so focusing on books. I was flipping books. As a matter of fact, I just recently kind of stopped flipping books. So, give you an idea of how long I've been doing it. Pretty much from the time you seen the last video up until now, I've been flipping books and, you know what I'm saying, flipping other stuff. But the bulk of it has been books. And it's paid the bills. But now that I've taken the money and I got the money I need, I've taken that money and I have invested it in real estate. So now I'm getting out of the book business, but I still have books listed, so I'm still making sales. And what I'm doing is I'm downgrading all my books that I pretty much, I ain't gonna say can't sell, but they're not gonna sell as fast. And the ones I know that I can get top dollar for, I'm reducing the cost on them so I can, you know, get that money for those books. So I'm getting out of the book business for right now to have that money to go toward finishing up my project, and also just to have some more money in my pocket. So yeah, that's where I'm currently at right now. We stay in Hot Springs, Arkansas. This is where we have moved. We initially came with a piece of land, and we ended up with a house, you might say, in 3 pieces of land. So we came with 1 piece of land, and out of 1 piece of land, and we still own it, we got a house on some land, and we got another piece of land next to that house. So I'm going to be sharing some stuff about that, you know, real estate investing, you know, showing you my journey and everything I'm going through, obviously the car content, you know, just showing you my testimony, my life in general. So that's where I'm at now. I'm in a small, say, quiet town of Hot Springs, Arkansas, known for being the natural state, known for its natural springs. You can literally go downtown and you can get the cold water that comes up out the ground, or the hot water that comes up out the ground. This is a place that people come to retire, a place that people come in regards to tourism. And like I said, because of those different things, I've seen a lot of opportunity for what I had in mind. And yeah, so where have I been? Take care of my family, and just, you know, just living my life in the Lord. So now that we are all caught up, or pretty much caught up, I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out some details and everything. Oh yeah, got a bald head now. My hair still grows, but you know, I have my reasons why I'm rocking the bald head. But yeah, that has changed. And you see my beard is definitely way bigger than it was in previous videos. Oh yeah, the Camaro. The Camaro is gone to that was gone a long time ago. I pretty much sold that to my brother, and then, you know, he didn't do right with it. So, hey, I don't know where the car is at now. So the Camaro is gone, the Benz is gone. We got the Jag, and we got the Suburban. My wife, she has a van and everything. Yeah. So until next time, this has been Top K. Y'all stay blessed.